This happened last summer. I was 20 years old. My name's Kevin. My friend James comes from a very wealthy family. His dad is some kind of intellectual property lawyer who contracts with the government, and they've got properties all over the country and even some overseas. That's the kind of money we're talking about. One of their places sits on a big secluded lake. The lake isn't massive. You can see the houses on the other side, but it's big enough that swimming across would wreck you. Most of the houses are dark vacation homes that only get used a couple weeks a year. That's what made James's house perfect. No neighbors, no noise complaints, no one around to care what you did. Usually it was parties, but this night wasn't like that. It was just me and him. I had just broken up with my girlfriend of 3 years, and I needed a quiet night with my best friend. We were sitting on the dock, having a few beers, when I noticed a light flicking across the lake. At first I thought it was the sun bouncing off something, but it kept going, even when I shifted my head. Then I noticed the rhythm. 3 short flashes, 3 long, 3 short. James said immediately it was Morse code. I laughed at him, but he swore it was SOS. I checked my phone, and to my surprise, he was right. Someone out there was sending a distress signal. We watched it blink for maybe a minute before it stopped. Just gone. No more light. That was when the silence got heavy. We looked at each other, weighing our options. James suggested calling the cops, but we'd been drinking and we weren't even legal yet. I was already fighting a DUI charge. The last thing I needed was another run-in with the police. But at the same time, we couldn't think of a good explanation for what we'd seen. A prank? Maybe. Someone actually in trouble? Possible. We weren't the kind of guys to ignore something like that. James's brother had a bunch of switchblades lying around his room, so we grabbed a couple, just to feel less vulnerable. We decided against driving since I wasn't willing to risk it. That left us one choice, his dad's kayak. We dragged it into the water and started paddling. At first it was fun, like an adventure. But the further we got, the darker it became and the quieter we grew. The sun had set, the light from other houses was faint, and the water below us felt colder than it should have. When we got close, the house came into view. It was big, like the others, but neglected. The dock was half collapsed, half sunk into the water. The light was gone. That alone set my teeth on edge. We beached the kayak on some rocks and climbed up the slope to the yard. My adrenaline was surging. James whispered that we should turn back and call the cops once we got home, but I told him we'd need Wi-Fi or service to do that anyway. I reminded him that we'd explored plenty of abandoned places before. This wasn't different. He didn't like it, but he followed. The front door seemed too exposed, so we crept around and found an unlocked window. We slipped inside. The house was empty. Not abandoned with old furniture and junk left behind empty. Stripped. Bare walls, bare floors. No dust, no leftover scraps of life. It felt staged. We moved cautiously, searching for stairs, and found them. Upstairs, the room that should have held the light was waiting. I pressed my ear to the door. Nothing. James nodded. I pushed it open. The room was bare except for a single thing. An old projector set up by the window, pointed outward. The moment I saw it, alarms went off in my head. Someone had put this here deliberately. This wasn't a call for help. It was bait. James realized the same thing, because he suddenly bolted. He sprinted back down the hallway, not even trying to stay quiet. I turned and ran after him. As we reached the stairs, I heard the sound of a door flying open in the room behind us. Heavy footsteps followed, fast, deliberate, pounding down the stairs. We didn't look back. We ran through the house, through the same window we had climbed in. James dove through first, and I scrambled after him, hearing those footsteps chasing closer. I hit the ground outside and sprinted after him, down toward the shore. That's when I realized why he had cursed. The kayak was gone, and then I saw it. From the side of the house, a figure came charging toward us. Big, fast, definitely an adult. I couldn't make out details, just a hulking shape moving far too quickly. I pulled out my switchblade, my hand shaking, ready for whatever was about to happen. But James didn't even try. He ran straight into the lake and jumped. Shoes, hoodie, everything. He just went. I didn't think. I followed. The water hit like ice knives, stabbing every nerve. My lungs locked. But adrenaline forced me to move. We swam hard, desperate, toward the faint light of James's house on the other side of the lake. It felt endless. My arms burned. My chest screamed. I thought about the projector, the footsteps, the figure. I kept swimming. Finally, after what felt like hours, we reached James's dock. We dragged ourselves up, gasping, shivering, so cold I thought I'd die right there. We stumbled into the house, locked every door, and called the police. It took them nearly an hour to arrive. An hour. When they did, they went across to the other side and searched. They came back with exactly what I knew they'd say. Nothing. No footprints, no gear, no belongings, no signs of anyone staying there. They claimed the house had been abandoned for years. They didn't find a projector. They didn't find a person. Just an empty shell of a house. The cops gave us a lecture about drinking and trespassing. James's parents were furious when they found out. Threatened lawsuits, yelled about police negligence, blamed the town. They never let James invite me back after that. But I can't stop thinking about it. The light wasn't random. It was deliberate. The projector was real. The footsteps were real. The figure that charged from the side of the house was real. Someone had set a trap out there, and for a moment we were seconds away from falling into it. If James hadn't run, if we had hesitated even a second longer, I don't know what would have happened. Some of my friends say whoever set it up got cold feet at the last second. Others think it was meant to scare, not capture. But then why take the kayak? Why wait in the shadows? Why set a projector to send out an SOS pattern, if not to lure someone closer? I don't know the answer. I don't think I want to. All I know is that on that lake, in that moment, someone had been waiting for us. And if they hadn't hesitated, I wouldn't be here to tell you this story. I still see the flashes sometimes when I close my eyes. 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. And I wonder if somewhere out there, another light is waiting to lure someone else in. That light on the water wasn't a call for help, it was an invitation. One we were never meant to survive. If this story sent chills down your spine, make sure to subscribe for more tales from the edge. Let us know in the comments, what do you think was waiting in that house?